Hey, this is Len Kabasinski, and you're listening to The Cinema Psycho Show.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to The Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to The Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Kyneton, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Elaine Woolscroft.
Just when I think I'm out of talking about 2018, you'll pull me back in.
Ooh, nicely done.
Ooh,
nicely
damn.
done.
Yeah, we are on episode 127, and this is our second part of our year in review for 2018, the year of the dumpster floating in Pittsburgh.
You know, let's hope when we do our 2019 recap, we're saying, what a year! Wasn't it great? The movies are great. Trump got impeached.
We all won the lottery. Yeah. We're rich now.
Kanye West's I'm the greatest person in the world is now our national anthem.
Or I was going to say Kanye West was deported in a SpaceX rocket.
Yeah, seriously. Even if the dude would just like go back on regular meds, I'd be fine.
I want to be the first genius on the moon.
Either that or he became a gay fish.
Yeah. Do you like fish sticks?
You like fish sticks? Yeah, so last episode we basically did a very good run through of just people we lost,
news stories,
box office.
Yeah,
a lot
this
of
episode,
stuff.
John, what are we getting into the nitty gritty?
Yeah. We're breaking it down. We're doing some listicles.
This is what you guys pay the big bucks for.
So turn your head and cough, bitch. It's listicle time.
So what's our first one?
So we're gonna break this down. Top 10 worst and top 10 best.
Okay.
So before I jump into the top 10 worst here, we'll go 10 to 1. I just want to state, in case anybody's like wondering where these were, I didn't think they were good. I just missed them. Some on purpose, some not. Holmes and Watson, Robin Hood, The Nun. I have here Incredible Beasts too. That shows how much I fucking care. Fantastic Beasts.
Oh wow.
And 50 Shades Free. I did not see those movies.
Oh,
None of us did.
I forgot.
Oh Jesus.
I forgot about 50 Shades Freed.
Yeah. I didn't see any of the 50 whatever movies.
Your mom's porn.
Yeah. Oh, tie me up, Ben.
I mean, that's basically your mom's porn.
Yeah.
Like that's every
why
mom's
spook
porn.
under your bed? Oh. Yeah, so none of us saw those ones, but Lane, I think you might have a hint of controversy with number 10 here. Tomb Raider.
Oh, I don't have controversy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good movie, but like this is something that I've just come to realize about myself in maybe the last few years or so. Like I can enjoy a movie and still recognize that it's hot Muppet trash. That's not a problem. That's no problem because,
that's the second time in 2 weeks you've said hot Muppet trash.
It's like sort of my new phrase. It's like what I'm going into
That's your
2019.
2019.
It's my mantra is hot Muppet trash.
I think we should get these mantras put in
That'd be like Miss
shirt
Piggy
form.
stripping for meth, right?
But you know, I mean, like,
hot Muppet trash.
Did Tomb Raider have problems? Of course. I mean, like half of like the female character's arc and like her own character was just like missing her dead dad. Like that. I hate stories like that where the woman's character derives from like some other event or.
But that's the game, though, right? You know,
that is
not really. No,
no,
they always play the dad stuff
really.
in the movies, and it's not. I mean, her dad is dead in the games, but he was like a famous explorer and shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Like she's not like crying and shit. She has like a giant mansion in the first one where you can just like terrorize her butler when you're training.
I did that.
It's so fun, isn't it?
I did that.
I like to. You would always make that, and you can hear the like.
And you would like,
jingling.
and you would like run around, and he just like,
and he'd be like, yes, seriously, it was so great. It was so great.
At least somebody take all that audio and just like do something with it.
But yeah, and then in the second game, I mean, he's in the reboot, from like what is that, 2013?
Yeah.
You can, God, that's 6 years old now. Makes me want to cry. And but you can you know that he's her dad's dead, but it's not a huge plot point or anything.
Okay. But yeah, the thing that bothered me about Tomb Raider was that it was for a movie that was taking place like in the jungle and there's all these action sequences. It was boring and lifeless.
It was a little boring.
Yeah.
None of these characters were fleshed out.
There were some moments from the game that they recreated that I was just like totally
The
popping
newer
a boner
games,
for.
right?
It was, the newer games. I was popping a boner. It was pretty great.
Well, Lane, speaking of hot Muppet trash,
Oh.
coming in at number 9, the Happy Time
I
Murders.
knew it.
Oh God.
Yes. Nice.
The movie that should have been better.
The movie that
really
shouldn't
should
have
have
sucked
been
bows.
better.
This movie should have come out in '96. I bet it would have been a big hit, like right towards the tail end of like grunge and the irony era.
Yeah.
I don't know why Melissa McCarthy makes me so sad. Like, I mean, she just has to make me sad all the time. I feel like I should love her, and she makes it really hard.
Well, she's funny, but you wouldn't know it from the movie.
No.
she
It's
makes.
true.
No.
But everything about this movie didn't work. The jokes didn't land. The puppetry,
Gross out humor didn't help.
Was they didn't really go far enough with that.
Well, it was just gross out humor for gross out humor's sake. You know, it just, there was no point, there was no greater good for it. They just were trying to shock people, and that's never a good recipe for anything.
The problem is, and I said this in our review, is just like they wasted a perfectly good concept. The concept of puppets and humans exist in the same world. What could happen?
Yeah.
Like that, there's a lot you could do
And it's
with that concept.
and it's riddled with
It's
so
true.
many plot holes that
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous. And I mean, I know that, like, okay, when is the only time you bring up plot holes, right? When the movie stinks. Like, if
That's
you
true.
Jurassic Park, like, all three of us love that movie in here, but the movie's riddled with plot holes, but you don't give a shit because it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know? How the hell did they know to look for Rosebud? He said it alone when he died. But you don't care because it's Citizen fucking Kane. In this movie,
Spoiler alert!
well, he says in the first minute. I
know, I'm
I
just
didn't say what
kidding.
Rosebud
He does.
was.
He does.
For this 80-year or 70-year-old movie.
That's true. I was just giving you shit.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fucking sled.
when a movie.
Damn it, Brian!
Yeah. It is? No. But I thought it was peas. But, well, the movie this bad, all you do is look at the plot holes, you know, and it's utterly just ridiculous and just garbage, you know?
Yeah.
True.
It's when your whole basis is to shock, you failed. Yeah, because there was some adult humor in the Muppet Show, but it was clever. It wasn't just like, let's show puppet penis.
You
or
need
puppet
restraint.
porn.
You need
Yeah.
restraint.
Yeah.
You know, as with all things, I have no problem with something being vulgar
Like,
or edgy, but you got to show restraint for like respect of the story and
Yeah.
not just having like a gimmick.
Or like, do you guys ever watch Dave Chappelle's show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
John's
love
a
Chappelle's
huge
so,
expert.
So like there was, I remember a sketch in which they did kind of like a Sesame Street, only did it with venereal diseases.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And they like had a puppet penis talking about how he's got crabs, and like they had puppet versions of crabs popping up,
Yeah.
and puppet versions of the herpes, and the herpes was like an Elvis talking, "Hey, I'm the herpes," you know. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, that's called being clever. You know, it's not gross out humor for gross out humor's sake. It's called we're clever. Like they didn't have to have a puppet come out and say, "I'll suck your dick for a quarter."
Yeah.
You know, it just seemed too over the top. And also the other thing too is like that sketch from Chappelle's Show came out what, 15 years ago?
2003, 4, something like that.
Yeah, so that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Which we said on our review that this movie feels like it should have came out
15 to 20
15
years
to
ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, it really is a shame because I remember I was talking to at 2017 New Year's Eve, friend of the show, Kevin Finch. He's like, you know, any movies you excited about next year? And unfortunately, the two I said were Bohemian Rhapsody and The Happy Time
You
Murders.
couldn't have been more wrong, man.
Because I actually didn't know much about The Happy Time Murders, and every time I brought that up, people were like, "What's that movie?" And I'm like, "Oh, I think it's kind of like a noir Roger Rabbit. Like it's going to be really dramatic, but it's going to have puppets, so it's going to be kind of like edgy and artsy." I couldn't have been any more fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's just a complete fucking disaster. Moving to number 8 here, Rampage.
That movie was so bad.
Oh God!
And
You
it's
know-
The Rock and a giant gorilla.
Its greatest fault was that it took itself so damn seriously.
It did.
When it's a movie about a giant monkey fighting a giant wolf and you have Negan and The Rock in it, you can't do this. You can't take this
Well,
seriously.
the problem was like the performances were just really bad. So I just feel like the whole project was kind of helmless,
Yeah.
and that's like the fault. I mean, purely of the director, because yeah, you have like these major cinematic and CGI elements, but at the end of the day, you need people to sell it. Like The Rock was fine. Like he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. But then you have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who literally was just Negan the whole time, and he admitted later that he just was Negan the whole time.
They couldn't get out of character. Yeah.
And then you have Plop from The Office, who's like the spider eating man bitch to that chick from Watchmen, who's like this mustache twirling asshole, and like the acting just was. I mean, that was the main thing that really stuck out to me. It just was so bad. Though I thought.
So what you're saying is I should have put it on the best films of the year.
You should have. But no, the one thing I'll say is that this movie, it had like kind of a romantic element to it, and it didn't feel contrived or forced. It was like very gradual. I mean, these are always absurd because people seem to fall in love in like 48 hours. But I thought that they had like a light hand with like a little bit of romance in it, and it wasn't like a huge focus. And I actually did kind of like that. But for being like a nonstop action romp, it was so joyless. It wasn't fun. And a movie like that, it has to be fun.
For me, I mean, the concept alone of, hey, we're going to take this 1980s arcade game that quite literally is just giant monkey versus giant monster destroy
Wolf
buildings.
and
Smashing into each
crocodile.
other, yeah.
Smashing into each other. Like that's it. That's all.
And it didn't have anything to do with the game, right, John? Like we thought it did, but it didn't. Or
Well, the thing is, as Brian was pointing out, like, you know, when you talk about late 80s, I mean, now arcades were different than home consoles, but
Right.
there wasn't anything to the game. It was smash some buttons and just try to
That's
beat your
exactly
buddy.
what it was.
How do you make a movie out of that?
It's-
but was this movie supposed to be that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
the name of the
I didn't
game, yeah.
know.
And it's directly pulled from the game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't know because
the
it just
white
didn't seem
ape
like it had
is
that much to do with it.
exactly from the game.
Yeah, like, you look at the side of the unit, the game unit, there's the white ape, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, why are you making a movie on this?
Because they owned it. They
I
bought it.
know. Well, no, it's the same reason. Why do they do pixels? Okay, because we've got these people in there, and why the fuck not?
I'm Adam Sandler. I want him to give me free video games. That's the only reason I made this movie.
Can Adam Sandler just like not be allowed anymore to like do things? That'd be great.
Now, you guys are probably going to be shocked by how low this is on the list, but the movie's ahead of it. Number 7, Venom.
Oh, that movie was terrible. It was terrible.
Now, we talked a lot about this last week.
It was really bad.
Um,
I'm very surprised and upset.
Let's be honest here. There's a reason that Tom Hardy had a mask on during Bane. Okay.
Yes. What was that voice he was doing in this thing, too? Like,
He was doing his best New Yorker.
No,
Long Island puppet, I think.
he like threw in and out of the accent though. I mean, you've got to have a dialect coach. If I see a finished film and your fucking original accent's coming through, like you needed to call the dialect coach that day. Like what the fuck? Like it's not like these movies don't have money. Get that shit right. That makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do we know? It made $853 million at the worldwide box office. Nothing about this movie worked. It wasn't a fun comic book movie. It wasn't a fun action movie. It was so bizarrely
I guess if you
paced.
like watching ink blots fight each other.
Yeah,
It was,
the last scene in the movie has a guy who
Literally-
looks like Venom fighting
Yeah.
Venom in the dark.
And it didn't make any orphan
And
sense.
it's a CGI nonsense.
It's a
fight
bunch-
that you can't see.
It's two jizzes going at each other
Dark
And,
jizzes.
and how many
in
times?
super slow-mo.
How many times have we seen this? Iron Man. Oh no, the bad guy made an Iron Man suit. Now it's Iron Man versus Iron Man. Like every fucking one of these movies. Oh no, Ant-Man. Now there's a Ant-Man like enemy made an Ant-Man outfit. Now it's two Ant-Mans fighting each other.
First of all, this movie was so on the nose. Oh, I wonder who the villain is. Could it be the guy who's in the nice black suit?
We are changing the world.
We are
one step at a time.
yes.
No, let the child talk.
Yes. No.
Come here, little girl.
Yes, come here.
Again with the
Let's
mustache
talk
twirling.
about science. And you know that they're trying to like make him. Oh, like this is the Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Slash. You know, Elon Musk. You know, techno Jesus. Like.
Yeah. Techno Jesus. I like that.
I mean, isn't that what
Science
That was my
people
first
like
Jesus.
synth album, actually.
Science Jesus.
but obviously not techno Jesus. Obviously, like destroyer of the world. Like,
yeah.
This
As
is
a weird side note, I thought Jenny Slate was an odd choice in that film. I like her, and I didn't have a problem with her in the film per se, but she was an odd casting
was
choice.
she the female scientist?
Yeah, she was.
Michelle Williams in her wig was
she
an
was-
odd placement too.
She was, but no, Jenny Slate was like, like science with lady parts. She was
Science
just-
with lady
yeah, well,
parts.
like they were like, oh, she's a scientist,
She has
she's a
glasses.
woman, we're so progressive. Like, oh, okay.
She has glasses.
Yeah.
She's smart.
Yeah, cool guys. Yeah, oh yeah, and Michelle Williams, what a fucking waste
Oh
of a
my
great
God.
actress. Like she's wonderful usually, and she was not great in this.
You
and
could
her
clearly tell
presence
they
in it
just-
was so weird.
They could like she clearly was just like, hey, this is a paycheck.
I mean, I really hope
want to
she-
finance my next movie. Well, you got to be in Venom.
I mean, I really hope she got like at least a fun villa like off the Amalfi Coast or something for doing the movie. You know what I mean? I just hope she bought something fun with the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we said last week, I mean, she didn't make that much for all the money in the world, so I guess she needed another paycheck.
Actual quote. Michael Caine, why did you make Jaws 4? I wanted to buy a boat.
Listen, if they own it, if
why he did it,
actors own it, like I will have 100 times more respect. You wanted a boat, you got a boat, bud.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's move on to number 6, Gotti.
Oh my god! No,
God.
no. We have to have a moderate conversation about this fucking movie.
Oh God!
John insisted we watch it for this episode. I mean, he insisted he watch it.
I got through half of it.
He got
to be
no.
fair, I got through half
That's
of it.
cute, Brian, because John fell asleep in the middle of the movie. I didn't realize
asshole.
he fell asleep. I didn't realize he fell asleep. So I watched it to the fucking end, and the next day John's like, "Oh, I got to watch the end of it." So I've seen it a time and a half. So annoyed.
You know a movie's going to be bad when it opens up in front of a New York like scape at the Brooklyn Bridge with John Travolta looking into the camera and be like, "You think to know the Gotti story?" And it's like horrible performance. Oh no!
Seriously, well,
This is not coming out the gate strong.
seriously, we watched this movie, and John and I said more than once, I think on 5 separate occasions between both viewings, we said, like, if this was a cable movie, I would actually be kind of impressed.
Lifetime.
It
cable.
Here's
seemed,
the thing.
Not HBO.
or no, not
The
HBO,
cable
Lifetime.
movie of Gotti that came out in the early '90s is 10
96,
times
yeah.
better than this movie.
it?
Oh my God! Has Armand Asante as Gotti, and it's great.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
It is
I saw this
great.
fucking piece of dog
It
trash.
was an HBO film, so
Ugh,
yeah.
So no, we thought that if this had been a Lifetime movie, we would have been very impressed.
Well, this movie was in developmental hell for like 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And-
it was so bad, guys.
So
Don't
could
see
you just
it.
imagine that picture? It's like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to make a Gotti movie with a no-name director starring John Travolta and a soundtrack by Pitbull.
Dude, no, there's diegetic sound in the movie, and it's a fucking Pitbull song, and it's supposed to be what, the 70s, the
Yep.
80s,
Yep.
and it's an actual like modern. It's called Fireball. It's a Pitbull song.
Hey, you don't
Fucking
need
because,
you don't
you know-
need continuity when
He needs that fireball paycheck.
Because
yeah.
fuck
does.
you, audience. You don't count as people.
Hey, wigs don't buy themselves.
It's very true. It's very true.
And it's like, well, okay, well, what's the plot going to be? No plot. It's
No
just going to be a
plot.
bunch of incoherent scenes about John Gotti that have nothing to do
Well,
with
just
each
like
other.
the story of his life, which isn't actually a story. Like when you do a biopic, a biopic film, you have to have a story. You can't just use their life as the story. Like that doesn't work because you're not making any greater point.
Right.
That's not art. That's just a fake documentary with like really highly paid reenactors.
I will say the old age makeup on him was pretty decent.
It wasn't bad. I was surprised.
I'll give him that.
I thought it
Somebody-
was gonna be terrible.
Somebody that I watched online said that like there were sadly people that cared in this project.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
You know, there were some people like the costume designers, some of the set designers, the makeup people. Like there were people that really wanted this to work.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a cash grab, you know.
For Travolta, it obviously was.
Yeah. Well, he's fucking horrible.
He is just
He
a
almost ruined that the
terrible-
People versus O.J. Simpson show.
Oh yeah,
he was
real
so
bad in that.
fucking terrible.
He was weird.
Yeah.
He was weird in that show.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just a mess.
Him and Nick Cage both. Nick Cage is weird too because he's kind of in that realm of I'll do the shit films now.
Yeah.
Like Travolta's clearly doing shit films now.
When do we get Face Off 2? Electric
Oh my god!
It's time.
Yes.
I think you should direct it and contact both of them.
Yes.
And
All
just
right.
say, hey, you
gonna
guys
reach
are
out.
available now. You're doing shit films. So
Johnny, Nicky boy, I know you're listening.
we know you listen to the show. Friends of the show.
Nick Cage. What if he was actually listening?
Oh my God! How do they know?
Face Off 2.
Let's do it. I'm in.
How much you want to pay me? $25. I'm in. No, you fool.
What? It's like okay. Excited though.
Number 5. Star Wars story.
I can't believe this is that high on your list.
Oh,
This might have been the worst
God.
film I've ever fucking seen. I was offended.
Oh, wait till
by
you
this
hear
movie.
the top 4. But yeah, when I could
Offended.
see the movie, it was
I was gonna say.
So wait, is this going from least bad to most bad?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I fell into a bad black hole for a second. I got confused.
I wouldn't say Tomb Raider was the worst movie of the year. I mean,
Wait
such
a
a
minute.
dick
Wait a
move.
minute.
That's what I'm
Wait a
saying.
minute.
Like I was just like,
Wait a minute.
I was a little confused.
Gotti came before
Solo?
Solo?
Because all right,
You think Solo was worse than Gotti? I support that.
Because
I support it.
there's no reason for Solo to have failed this badly.
I know.
Gotti with John
You
Travolta
expect
and no
Gotti
name
to
director.
fail.
Yeah, fuck
Okay.
that nonsense.
All right, fair enough,
That's
fair enough.
supposed to be bad.
Especially when there's already a perfect origin story for Han Solo written in the 90s by A.C. Crispin.
Yeah, but then people will know what the story is and they won't go to see it, according to Disney.
Disney needs to put their dick on everything, including
Seriously,
Han Solo's
they're
origin.
like that guy that like just swings their wang onto everything. Like, you know what? I'm gonna make the cat a unicorn. Here you go. I'm gonna put my dick on this. I'm gonna put my dick on that. Like, fuck.
Lane, there are times when I wish we had a webcam on our things because literally
Lane is lying down right now and gyrating.
she's lying down, air humping. Oh, where she's gonna put her Disney dick at?
You know, sometimes you gotta hump your Disney dick. It's like a thing that happens.
Pump that Disney dick, yo.
That Disney
Hashtag
dick.
Disney dick.
Disney dick.
Take it in your mouth. You want some of this?
Bend over, bitches.
But this movie was so bad that they. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
That was amazing.
Lane,
Sometimes we
They
have
will
so
not.
much
They
fun.
will not wait for us to stop
I
laughing. They will turn us
know.
off.
We had so much fun. I'm sorry.
But this movie was so bad it made them reconsider their entire approach to these Star Wars movies.
oh yeah, no,
pretty
'cause
sure they
shut
canceled
shit.
them, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
shut shit
Yeah.
down. They
the
canceled
Boba Fett movie's not coming out
and the
anymore.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
They canceled it. They shut that shit down. So at least something good came out of it because I was fucking tired of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But like boring characters, sex robots,
The worst writing
callbacks.
ever.
Yeah, mindless callbacks. Like we have to know. Apparently, they think all we want to know is everything we saw in the other movies.
Yeah.
Right? Can't have anything new or any new
Nope.
adventures.
Nope.
And like, do we really need to explain why he calls him Chewie? That's just like, if your name is Jonathan, most people will probably call you John, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, Chewbacca's too hard to say all the time. I'm going to call you Chewie. Like,
I mean, like, you didn't
we don't
need to
need
say
an
that.
explanation for that.
That's
it's a
pretty
fucking like
self-explanatory.
shorter version of his
But,
name.
I mean, the problem ultimately becomes like, they wrote this script for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
5-year-olds who are obsessed with Star Wars. They didn't write this for fucking adults. And that's part of the problem, I think, with the current crop of Star Wars movies, is they're talking down to the fans. They're talking down to the fans, and this is also why I didn't terribly hate The Last Jedi, because it didn't quite talk down to the fans.
It was different,
It was
really
different. But
subverted expectations.
no, but the problem is you have the fans who hate that.
Yeah.
Because it was so radically different and wasn't so much, hey, remember this? Remember Darth Maul? Remember that? Like, remember? Like,
And I know we had a huge fight
We
about this
did.
with the episode, but Darth Maul, like, I'm not going to read all the comic books and books to fucking know that he's still
And you and
alive.
I were on Team Black Sun. That was the only fucking interesting part about that
That-
movie.
Thank you,
And they
Christian
saved
Kaczynski,
it-
for backing me up on that one. Sorry.
and they saved it for 5 minutes at the end of it. Like,
I know,
that's
it's
the
so
thing,
stupid.
Is I got that because I do follow.
Yeah.
know,
And I don't think you should need it
stuff.
to like, move forward in the whole franchise of it, but at the same time, like, there's gotta be nuggets for like the Uber fans. You know what I mean? Like it was a nice way to do it, but like I would have loved to see more about Black Sun and the criminal organization of everything. And what was Black Sun's the one, and then what's the other one?
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn, yeah.
Crimson Dawn,
And then because Black Sun is like the Shizor organization,
Yes.
and I mean that would have been dope, man. Learning more about that and seeing more of that
But
shit.
I
Like,
think
God.
I think the problem is that they talk down to fans because they were scared of what happened with
They wanted
Last Jedi.
They wanted to play it super fucking safe. And two, I mean, that project had problems.
Yeah.
I mean, they kicked out the directors and they had this.
Well, no, they made the directors do a bunch of reshoots and then fired them, and then they had Ron Howard come in and almost
Exactly.
reshoot the whole thing.
that's what I'm saying.
And
It had a
it's
lot of
too-
problems.
Too many chefs spoiled the soup. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that was a big problem.
Kathleen Kennedy and all the producers are saying, no, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you got a hot mess hodgepodge of 35 different incomplete ideas.
That's what happens when you're
It's-
working for the
you know
mouse.
what's-
Cinematographer that shoots it in the dark.
That's
you know
the
what's
mouse.
interesting is that it's the opposite problem that Lucas had with the prequels,
Where nobody reined him in.
where no one
Yeah.
reined him in, and
Everybody
it's
said yes.
there's no happy medium. I think the only time we've ever had a happy medium was Empire,
Well, because somebody else was keeping him in check.
because but
he died
they
last
kept him in,
year.
but they kept him in check. But they also understood that we can't have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
They kept it under
Well,
control.
film is obviously it's a collaborative process, right?
Right.
Yes.
You know, the producers can suggest things. The writer can say, hey, you know, here's what I think we could do. The actors bring something to it. They say there's 3 movies: what's on the script, what you shoot, and what's edited.
Yep.
And, you know, the thing is, when you have too many people collaborating, it can become a problem. When you have only one person, it's a fucking mess. But we could probably talk about Solo all day.
I know. We got so upset and we talked a while. I got upset.
Number 4, Winchester.
Oh, I forgot that came out last year. I remember the movie, but I can't believe that was last
one
year.
and I
Early
turned it off.
February. Like, yeah.
I started watching it and turned it off
because
I was
I
on my
was-
fucking mind.
Speaking of doing a movie to get a boat, Helen Mirren.
Yeah. I
What
was
up?
so excited because I thought it was going to be like great schlock garbage, right?
Yeah,
But
you
this
were.
movie, they took themselves once again, just like Rampage, way too
Way
fucking
too
seriously.
seriously.
And they made the most boring movie I've ever fucking
It
seen.
was boring as all hell.
How is it so boring, man? Like,
Well, and it's-
horror being boring, that's never good.
Well, and the stupid thing about it is it's based on a true story about the widow of the maker of the Winchester rifle, convinced that all the people that were killed by the rifle are haunting her, so she continues to build her house, you know, to
Right.
appease the ghosts and to have dead ends and things like that.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and if it was about her and her madness, it might actually be an interesting movie. But no, the ghosts are fucking real according to this movie, and here comes your jump scares and fright shots and all that fucking nonsense. You know, and that's only the last like 15 minutes of the movie. You got about 90 minutes of boring ass shit to sit through of setup.
That's the sad thing, is because I found a lot of these movies that take place in modern they're modern horror films, but they are period pieces.
yeah.
Like they try to do Victorian, are always the slowest fucking films.
Mm-hmm.
Like they for some reason think, oh, because it's Victorian times, you know, and we're doing a horror movie, we have to be slow. It's like,
Dun-dun-dun. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. There's a jump scare right
there's
there.
a jump scare. but that's the point. That's the point, is they do that shit with Victorian horror films that are produced nowadays.
Yeah.
They just hold it, like, just slow as all hell.
Go watch the Hammer films, guys.
Serious. Hammer films knew what the fuck they were doing.
All right. Number 3, and this one I was shocked that this was so bad, was 1517 to Paris.
Yeah, you hated it.
And
I am not familiar
But
with this.
what a strange movie, though.
I'm
Well-
not familiar. Can you give me a
Yeah.
quick rundown on this film?
So, goofy old man Clint Eastwood, who, thank God he redeemed himself with The Mule at the end of the year here.
Okay.
And proved that he can still direct and act.
Is he yelling at a chair again?
No, it's only at the conventions.
Okay.
But he made this film about real life heroes that stopped a terrorist attack on a train going to Paris. The 1517, actually. But his ingenious idea was to cast the actual heroes as themselves. And so my biggest problem I have with this movie is that they're so bad at acting that it almost lessens their heroic nature because of this disastrous stunt
a
that
mess.
he did.
It's-
where they may be remembered more as horrible actors than actual heroes.
I know.
Wow.
That was just such a big risk, I think, to have the actual people do the acting.
Well, and the problem is that like they wanted to build up to how they became where they were on this train, but their lives, I'm sorry, because they are heroes, was not all that interesting leading up to it.
Yeah.
But like everything kind of like pays off at the end to get you there, but it's boring and meandering and unnecessary just to get to that scene on the train. Like it would have made a very good short film with actual actors. You know, where you
Yeah.
only did maybe about a fifth of all the build up to it, and you intercut that with what's going on at the train, not just at the end. And you make it maybe like 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it would have been decent. But yeah, it's just these 3 guys going around Europe for most of the movie when they're not little kids, going around Europe trying to act like and trying to remember what they did, and it's the worst performances you've ever seen. And like,
yeah.
Oh, hey, we're outside the Louvre. Let's get a selfie. Okay, that'll be cool. Oh man, look at our selfie outside the Louvre. Wasn't that fun?
my.
Yeah, and then
That's-
the walk off camera.
You know what this reminds me of? Okay, you ever watch the show A Haunting?
Yes.
Okay. Every once in a while, they would cast. First of all, for those of you who aren't familiar, that show, The Haunting,
was basically like a docu-series about ghost encounters, okay? And the one thing that was always weird about it was that every once in a while, when they're interviewing someone who's talking about an experience they had with a ghost, they would cut to a scene with that same person
Unsolved Mysteries did this too.
acting
sometimes.
in the scene and reenacting,
Yeah.
and it's always like really clunky, and because obviously these people aren't professionals,
Yeah.
and it was horrible. It was always horrible to watch that. But then there were other shows out there that did the same sort of thing, but they would hire actors, and you would always be like, "Oh, those reenactments were pretty good." But it's the same sort of thing. Why were you using the same
actual
people,
guys,
the
yeah.
actual guys? You don't need that.
And it makes them look like fools when they're heroes, and it just makes Clint Eastwood look like a fool. It was just a mess.
It makes him look like an old man yelling at a chair.
Yeah.
Hey, Obama, you son of a bitch.
Number 2, Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, dude.
You really hate that movie.
There is nothing that works in this. It is a soulless, mindless cash grab.
John looked like he'd been off to war when he got back from the theater. He just looked like he had died inside.
Remember how disappointed we all were with The Lost World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but worse.
And it like rolled around and kind of gave you the finger.
Yeah.
Like a dog rolling around in
its own
shit.
feces,
And you
yeah.
have to clean him up.
Or no, like, oh, your cat gets run over by a car, and in that moment you're so sad the dog runs out and like rolls in the dead cat.
Or kind
That's-
of like
yeah.
when Disney puts his dick everywhere and, air humps you.
Yeah.
Suck on that, bitch. You better swallow. But yeah, Jurassic World 2 Fallen Kingdom, nothing worked. It was The Lost World, but worse.
Yeah.
The movie just, none of the characters' motivations were what they were in the first film. That we spend the first half of the movie on this island because all the dinosaurs are going to go extinct. And then a boat comes and rescues all of them, and somehow Chris Pratt outruns a volcano.
Because reasons.
And then they get on this boat when there's no way that nobody saw them get on the boat. And then they go to this guy's mansion, and they're selling off the dinosaurs. And here's the ingenious idea. You're supposed to aim a gun with a laser point on somebody, and the velociraptor will go and kill him. If you have a guy with a laser point gun on his chest, just shoot him. The fuck do you need
Yeah, I
a
was going to say,
velociraptor for?
why do you need to do that?
This is the whole logic behind it. And then we find out that they're cloning humans, and then they release the dinosaurs into like the streets because little girls like, I had a chance to live, so should the dinosaurs.
It's like, wait, what? What?
I had a chance to live, so should the dinosaurs.
Dear God.
I'm just scratching the surface here of this mess.
Yeah, man.
And retconning the past movies too to fit their things like, oh, John Hammond believed that animals should have a right to live. John Hammond was a shuckster. He was.
He was.
He
Yeah,
saw
was
these
P.T.
things
Barnum.
as commodity.
Yeah, he wanted to play God. He wanted to run his flea circus.
Yep.
For real, and he failed.
When he tipped over the bowl of sea monkeys, he got the fuck out of Dodge, man. He didn't give a shit.
But yeah, it's just. And the thing is, this movie. What did we say last week? The third highest grossing film after Black Panther and Avengers.
It also has perennial old man / villain James Cromwell in it.
Oh, yeah. Fucking James
You notice how
Cromwell.
he's always
He literally
always
is. Literally is. Yes.
old man scientist who might be the bad guy.
Yes.
Well, he's the one
always.
that cloned the little girl because his daughter died.
Yeah.
So he made her again.
Ugh.
Remember B.D. Wong, who was just a throwaway character in the first movie, who was there for
He's a full-on mustache twirler in
for
this series.
exposition.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Good
Now he's just like,
times.
I can make any dinosaur I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jurassic World 2, it's worth seeing just to see how much of a disaster a movie can
I
be.
don't know, dude. I hate seeing you so upset. You were so upset.
But we're gonna, because it made so much money, we'll get 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 35.
Can't wait.
The worst film of the year, in my humblest of opinions,
Uh-oh.
The Predator.
Oh.
No, Brian.
This was the worst fucking
It was
thing.
so bad.
Worse than Predators?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was. It was
than
worse
anything.
than Rampage.
Yeah.
It was worse
Wow.
than so many movies. It was worse than them all. I would agree with this, John. The Predator was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. The writing was so bad. It was offensive. I mean, just everything about it failed.
Shane Black should have retired after the long kiss goodnight. Like,
Failed.
in 96. Like,
He failed.
Dude, you don't work anymore.
This was
You
an
know?
abhorrent failure.
Why was this so bad? Because I didn't see it.
Oh, John, Break it down.
So, besides the fact that it is this convoluted mess of a plot where one predator is here to say or to kill us because of global warming, and then
Are you serious?
yeah,
Like
the big predators, like they're the 11-foot predators, and the 7-foot predators are there to stop the 11-foot predators because they like people now.
Yeah, they
And
like want
what?
us. They want us to live. That's why they're worried about
And so, in
global
order
warming.
for us to live, they kill us.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. And then they fight each other a whole lot. And there's an army guy who sees the predators, and he's sent on a bus with 10 most unlikable people you've ever met in your life.
Of course.
They're Shane Black characters.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shane
then,
Black character.
and then they kidnap Science Lady, who's Olivia Munn. And there's a scene where she wakes up in a bed in a hotel room with a bunch of guys hanging over her, and they all start like laughing and mocking at her.
And the whole scene is like kind of meant to make her look like a fool. They all take bets on like whether she's going to try to arm herself and like kill them and stuff. Like just watching that from a female perspective, like there's nobody's eyes I'm not going to claw out if I wake up in the middle of a room with 6 fucking dudes and I don't know where I am or what's going on. I'm going to fuck some bitches up, man. Like I'm going to go feral cat mode. I didn't think that was funny. It was played for laughs. I thought it was in horribly poor taste.
Well, Shane Black.
There's
bad.
There's a little kid in it who is some level on the spectrum, which is played for plot convenience.
Yeah, he
you need
has,
to be really careful with that kind of thing. But the kid, he's like a super genius.
He has
kinda kid 'cause He has
issues.
issues.
but he's super smart.
Yeah,
He's
they
kind of
want
like a Halliday character from
Kind of like photographic memory. Like
sort of. Yeah, he's some. Probably some level of autism, but the movie obviously doesn't want to say that.
Okay, obviously.
But
right,
yeah.
but they still went for it, which is not better.
And the main character like mails home the predator like glove and head to himself, and the little boy opens it and goes out on Halloween and kills other kids, blows them up.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it was that actual part was fucking funny. But it leads.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, but it just leads to one action sequence after another of like, oh no, bad predator's gonna hurt us. Good predator shows up and gets beat up, and yeah, it's unbelievably bad.
So, who is the quote unquote actual predator? Because the movie's called The Predator.
It's just
I
the
guess
the 11-foot bastards.
The 11-foot predators.
I don't know.
There's
guys, John, the predator dog.
Oh, there's predator dogs. Yeah,
Predator dogs.
available in toy stores everywhere.
And Olivia Munn makes one her pet.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, dude. It's the worst fucking movie.
And it plays off for laughs because they had to kill these things early in the movie. They're actually very easy to kill, barely an inconvenience. Sorry, Screen Rant just took that.
Screen Rant is
Drop
so
that
good.
in the steel jar. But these things are hard to kill or not hard to kill, but they're very vicious. And then they friend one, and then later in the movie, this dog just shows up. And people go, "Whoa, what is that? He's gonna kill us!" They go, "No, he's friendly," and throw him like a bone.
And his
he's
mouth
just like a
goes,
dog. It's like, ha, 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 he's fun, like he's cute, and
Yep.
it's so flippant, but takes itself so seriously at the same time. It's a tonal mess.
There was no end to
Is
the
it
failure
like
that this
Starship
movie was.
Troopers flippant?
No, because that movie's clever.
Okay.
That movie's very clever.
That movie's
Yeah.
clever.
This movie's just like, hey, Shane Black, give us a Predator movie based off of like 6 versions we already have and make it Shane Blacky. Okay, I can do that. I'll have it for you in a day and a half because I don't give a shit.
Damn.
What? That's enough negativity.
Look at you, brah. You were like so.
What else you got?
hateful.
All right, let's move on to the good stuff.
This won't be
good
as fun to
stuff.
talk about. I'm not gonna lie.
And my apologies to our audience here before the Oscars come out. I will see these, but I did miss First Man. because
First Man I saw. I saw that was pretty good.
Ooh.
I'll go a little later. I'll
saw
go a
that
little
was
later.
pretty good.
Missed it. It went out of theaters quick. Vice on the Basis of Sex and If Beale Street Could Talk. I did miss
Yep.
these. I will see them. My apologies.
You saw every other movie, John. It's fine. I think we're okay.
Most of those came out on Christmas, so we're recording this here in early January.
And you don't want to see Welcome to Marwen? I think it's gonna be nominated.
Oh, reviews are horrible.
Oh, was it? Is
Yeah.
it too schmaltzy? It's Zemeckis.
Yeah.
Damn, I was real curious about that.
Young man's job directing. Robert Zemeckis is just a schmaltzy old prick. But
Gotcha.
number 10 here, Black Klansman.
That was your 10th most
Yeah.
favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spike Lee is back in rare form. Like, God, he is so hit or miss.
Yeah.
But when he hits out of the park.
Very cool.
Based on a true story. Fascinating story of 2 cops that worked together. One was black, would talk to the former leader of the KKK, whose name now I
Right.
I recall. But he would talk to him on the phone, and then the actor from Girls and Kylo Ren,
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
would be the in-person guy. And the thing
Okay.
is also he's Jewish too, you know, and so it'd be like, "You Jewish boy," and he'd be like, "Don't you call me Jewish?" And then they almost like catch the fact that he's Jewish, like when he's infiltrating the
Gotcha.
skinheads and the Klan, and together they bring down like, you know, a huge faction of the Ku Klux Klan because they were all too stupid to realize that the guy they met in person didn't sound anything like the person on the phone, and the guy on the phone talking about all these Klan meetings was a black guy, which is hilarious. You know,
I think that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, it was brilliantly paced. If you like Spike Lee style, which I do very much, like it's very much a Spike Lee movie.
Okay.
There's those scenes when they're walking down a hall and they're floating, you know, the cross, you know, cutting scenes like that Spike does so very much. Like, yeah, it's very much a Spike Lee movie. But,
Got it.
Brilliantly paced, perfectly timed. I would say maybe if anything, you could shave like 5 minutes off, but I mean, at that, you're just splitting hairs at that.
Right.
Number 9, Isle of Dogs actually surprised the hell out of me.
You were very surprised. I remember how much you were surprised.
And I'm not really that into him. Wes Anderson?
Yeah.
He's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, you're usually not a big fan.
You know, his stuff is really an acquired taste, basically. Like, you have to be really into that, you know, very succinct color palette of the movies that he does and oddball characters and that sort of thing. You know,
This movie was just
Right.
so likable. The characters were fun. The humor was on point. It was beautiful. You know, which I guess you could say that just about any of his movies, although I find his centering of everything in his palettes to be a little mad to me. But yeah, I mean, the animation style, the stop motion, which I'm sure they did it in a computer to make it look stop motion. I don't know if they really did stop motion, but
Right.
because you can fake that now. But yeah, it was just beautiful to look at. And obviously what drives everything is the story, right? The story was great.
right.
Right.
And it got us to where we needed to go in a perfect way. Likable characters, funny dialogue, great story, and beautiful to look at.
Perfect.
Cool.
Number 8, little schmaltzy Oscar bait here, but it was still damn good, was Green Book.
Yeah.
Green Book.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who aren't initiated, who haven't seen it, there was a book in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and probably in the South end of the 70s of safe places for black people to go to for hotels and to eat and things like that. And it was a green book. So, you know that you're safe to go eat here or stay at this hotel, and don't stay at this hotel if you're in Mississippi because you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And it's about a famous classical musician who has a gruff guy played by what's his face? Lane, help me out here.
Viggo Mortensen?
Viggo Mortensen. Take him around as his like handler through the South because he's trying to like say, he's playing for all these rich white people to try to show that we're not so different. And
Right.
and it's a movie about like Viggo Mortensen at the beginning of the movie throws out 2 glasses, like actual glassware, because 2 black repairmen drank out of them.
Yeah.
And he throws them in the garbage because, now they're tainted. I can't use these ever again. And by the end of the movie, he's learned, like, well, that's not right.
Right. He has an arc.
Yeah.
Always helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a great character thing because they learn from each other, and it's surprisingly fun for actually, because there's a lot of dark, sad moments in
Right.
it, but it's actually a fun road movie. Number 7, Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Huh.
Which,
I'm sad that you ended up seeing that by yourself. I really wanted to see that. Again, Melissa McCarthy.
she was a
Can
great
we try
dramatic
it?
actress.
Can we try it?
Yeah.
Can we be friends, Melissa? Can you stop picking terrible projects?
And I mean,
That would be great.
it's so hard when your main character is so unlikable. You're kind of already working from a deficit.
Yeah, it can be
but-
done. I mean, you can root for a character you don't like.
And this movie is that movie, and it's a fascinating thing where she's forging these letters from famous authors and
Right.
selling them to get by, and she finds that she writes some of these authors better than they wrote themselves.
Wow.
It's terrifying.
Because she's a struggling author, and they really threw Tom Clancy under the bus in this movie.
Yeah, you said that when you got home.
He's at a party. He's like, "Oh, there's really no excuse to write. Like, I produce at least 1 book a year, and there's no reason to not to." She's like, "Fucking douchebag," yeah, it's because you produce crap, pal. And she has writer's block. She's never written anything of true merit, but she actually finds her calling in this grift and and becomes an amazing writer in the process. And then obviously all things start to fall apart for her. But Melissa McCarthy is damn good in this dramatic role. Maybe she should try more of that. She probably will be up for Best Actress for this. Beautifully paced, fun story, and then I won't spoil anything about the ending, but there's great arcs and great lessons that's kind of taken from it.
Right.
It's based on a true story, so you can ruin it for yourself that way too. Number 6, Spider-Man: Enter the Spider-Verse.
I saw the
Into
first
the
part of
Spider-Verse.
it, yeah.
I did not expect to love this movie as much as I did. I was almost not even going to see it, but I saw all these reviews that it was fantastic. I'm like, well, I'll be the judge of that. Lord Miller kind of get on my nerves sometimes. And I went, and no, this was possibly the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. Not, just a great film, but...
it's such a cool concept, too,
It's funny, Venom's on the shit list and Spider-Man's on the good.
How did that happen? My God.
But yeah, just a fun take off of a comic series with Spider-Man of where they have different dimension Spider-Mans. And we finally get to see Miles Morales, the African-American Spider-Man, on screen for the first time ever. Unless you count Homecoming, because I think Donald Glover was supposed to be Miles.
He's his cousin.
You're right.
Okay.
Or something like that.
It's a fun film where it's perfectly paced. It's a perfect 3-act structure. Everybody has an arc. Like, everybody's interesting. It's just like what I had mentioned with Isle of Dogs. Everybody has a good character. Everything's funny. Everything resolves. Everything's perfectly paced. You can't go wrong with that. This is that's on nobody else's list, but I don't care because it was amazing. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot.
You loved that movie. You seriously loved that movie.
Yeah. It's about a famous comic writer who was basically, before a comic writer, professional alcoholic.
Yeah.
Just drinking all day.
Professional
every day.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
Do you go to night school for that sort of
I think so. Well, when you remember.
Whoa.
But yeah, he got in a horrible car accident, became essentially paralyzed from the about the lungs down, I guess. Like, he had enough feeling in his arms to be able to draw, obviously, and he could move his neck and everything, but he in the movie it hints that he could still get erections under certain circumstances. So he wasn't completely paralyzed.
Okay.
But he turned his tragedy into great art and very cynical comics. A lot of people were bothered by his very, very, very dark humor.
Well, yeah, because there's that one that everybody knows, right?
Yeah, well, there's 2 KKK members coming out of their house in their robes, and the one guy says, "Don't you love that right out of the dryer feeling?"
Yo. Really bad.
Yeah, and it's those kind of jokes, and I mean, he's amazingly powered through drawing these things with barely any feeling in his hands, and it kind of gave him purpose. And the movie's about his recovery and his becoming an artist, and Jonah Hill, who's in the movie, who's fantastic, oddly, but he's actually a very good dramatic actor, said, do you think you had to lose everything to gain everything?
It's an interesting question.
Number 4 here, Roma.
Okay. That's your number 4. Holy shit. It was good. It was very good.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's very beautiful.
It was very much reminded me of like French New Wave.
Okay.
Films.
I could see that.
And not just because it was black and white, but it was a slice of life character study of technically multiple people, but mostly the housekeeper in the film.
Yeah.
And just the struggles that everybody went through in 1970s
Mexico City,
and going on with the revolution going on around there and the political uprising, and just people going through their lives in that situation in tough circumstances. And I know this sounds very simple, but it's amazing if you like deep films about people.
I thought it was very masterfully done.
Yeah,
and it was gorgeous. I mean, the cinematography was unreal.
Check it out.
The alt-right guys are all mad because you're anti-man. Which in a way it kind of was not favorable to men.
Yeah, but I mean,
because all the men in there are terrible. But so what?
But the circumstances of the film, I mean, it was all warranted. I mean, it was stuff that people experienced, and I don't want to talk about all the movies that are anti-woman just because they suck. Like that happens both ways too. It's fine. You're gonna make it.
Yeah.
All right, top 3 here. Number 3, The Hate You Give.
I had a feeling this would make it real high on your list. I actually just put that on my library book list like this week.
Beautifully
to pick up soon.
Masterfully done.
Yeah.
It's based off of a very acclaimed book. Just amazing stuff about differences between white and black culture in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And just when I think, oh, I'm so woke, I know this, I know that, like, there's things I'm like, wait, really? Oh, you have to do that? Like, what? Like, oh my God, I didn't know this.
A lot of things to learn even still. I mean, and that's good. Like, that's what cinema at its best should do, is help shape culture and everything like that, of course.
And it's from the daughter's perspective, but you get a sense of like what the dad had to go through, what the other family members have to go through, and the whole process of dealing with when the police are killing unarmed black men when they pull them over, and just like what that's doing to this country. It's probably the most topical and important film that came out this year. And what's very interesting is the brother of the father in the film is a cop. And even as a black man, he says, like, well, what if he had a gun? Like, and they have this whole scene in the movie where he says, like, as a cop, you have to think immediately. And it's like, it's making you think, it's not just saying, oh, cop's bad. It's
not simplistic.
Creating a debate. Yeah, it's not, doing it to its
I get that,
form.
but at the same time, I don't see white shooters having that problem.
Right.
Every mass shooter that's
the
been
son of a
white has
bitch
been
who
taken
shot up
alive.
Tree of Life is still alive.
He was taken alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Parkland shooter was taken alive. I mean, come on.
Number 2, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, it was just
So
it was
many
a great
tears.
movie.
Oh my God.
It hits you right in the heart.
Hashtag
right
cried like a bitch.
Well, and I just don't want to say, I'm not just going to be blinded by my love of Fred Rogers and what a good person
But
he
I'm
was.
going to be blinded by my love of Fred Rogers.
No, is that it was a great documentary regardless. Like, it was a brilliantly put together documentary that really just encompassed his whole career without it being boring, without it being bogged down, without it being too convoluted. Like, it was exactly what you should do.
The other thing, too, is that, for me, it gave me insight into the man, Fred Rogers. It didn't give me insight into, the character of Mr. Rogers. It gave me insight to, some of the aspects of his psyche that he was most vulnerable at. And, I mean, I never understood, I never knew that Daniel Tiger basically was him.
Yeah.
And
all his insecurities.
His insecurities.
Yeah.
And, you don't really see a genuine human being like that. Fred Rogers was the real deal,
I mean,
top to bottom.
just an amazing person, an amazing human being. Yeah, I'm really excited for the film, the Tom Hanks film coming out. I can't wait.
Yeah. And then number 1 here, Lane drumroll. The Favorite.
Really? It was your favorite film of the whole year.
Well, it's in the name, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
I was going to say, did you do that on purpose?
It's crazy. That's so crazy.
This was an incredible and very surprising film. It's not what you would think from the trailers. I mean, it partially is, but it just shows that, 18th century aristocratic, British Parliament, just the scumbags they all were, and just everybody was out to hurt each other, and just a brilliant masterstroke of two characters in this game against each other, and everyone in the end loses, and they don't even realize till it's too late that they've all lost.
And who directed, John?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to. I was trying to put you over.
No, sorry. I don't know this person.
Okay.
But no, they did. I think they did The Lobster, that movie with.
That weird Joaquin Phoenix one.
No.
Or no, who was that? Not Joaquin.
The guy from the Total Recall remake. What's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
That's
yeah.
right. I kind of I get them confused a little.
You guys are. They're
I'm
both
like,
looking it
I'm
up
trying
right
my
now.
hardest. God damn,
Yeah,
it
but,
won't tell me who the goddamn director was.
Emma Stone, Rachel Wise, and
Yorgos Lanthimos.
That's why I couldn't pull it from my head. Yeah,
Got it.
Good old Yorgos.
and then Olivia Colman was Queen Anne, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but just a masterclass in acting, how to shoot a movie, and it was fascinating because it was a drama, but it was almost a farcical comedy at the same time.
I mean, that's how the previews are played.
Yeah,
For Corky.
and just the way this whole thing just develops and just in front of your eyes, it takes a hot minute to get started, but when it does, it doesn't
Okay.
let you go.
Gotcha.
And it's hard to really talk about it too specifically without giving anything away. So I would,
Yeah, and especially it hasn't been out that long.
I would really
Didn't want to
highly
spoil.
recommend this movie.
Wow.
Excellent.
And then best of the rest, sorry, Black Panther fans. Annihilation, Thoroughbreeds, Boy Race, Stars Born, and 8th Grade, all very good as well. But did not make the top 10.
Yeah, I thought Stars Born and 8th Grade were very good. I liked them both. We talked about this the other day, John. I thought 8th Grade was better than Lady Bird.
Yeah.
And you did too. We both thought
Same
that.
kind of film. That's why
Yeah.
we're comparing the two. But
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's your 10 best and your 10 worst, at least according to your Psychos Nation.
Very good. Very good. I didn't see a lot of these movies, as you could tell. So I had a kid.
But I think it
2018 was a kid year.
I
It
saw
was an
I
interesting
saw 60
landscape,
movies
though.
as a psychopath. Yeah.
was an interesting landscape for the year though, and I think that there's a lot of there is a lot of like diamonds in the rough. Like there was a lot of reboots and a lot of
Yeah.
remakes, but there were quiet movements here and there, and two, I mean, there was some notable horror this year. I thought that A Quiet Place by John Krasinski,
Yeah.
that was kind of a big deal. I know you weren't that impressed by it, but
Best
I mean,
Twilight Zone episode I ever saw.
but a lot of people really liked it
Yeah.
though, John, and a lot of people actually thought it was a great a foray into horror, and some people are saying
Speaking
that
of
it's like
horror,
a
the
better
one
thing to
movie
do.
we did not really mention at all was Halloween 2018.
Well, that's because it
That-
didn't make either of John's lists.
if I had a top, say, 20 worst films, it probably would have been on there.
It wasn't even bad enough to be on your top worst
I would
list.
say
That's
it
really sad.
was number one in hype
Yeah.
and number one in failure for hype.
Other than like probably Solo, that might have been the most hyped movie of the year.
I think
Yeah.
Halloween
Yeah.
was probably more hype than Solo was.
In a different way though,
Because I was just like, oh, dude, don't worry. This is literally the Halloween movie you've been waiting for.
this is what you
Yeah.
This is what you've
deserve.
been waiting for. And, oh, God.
It was a ho-hum average.
It was a ho-hum
like,
average
plotless mess.
movie.
Well, it had a plot. It's just meandering one that
Like,
didn't. It was disjointed.
Blumhouse strikes again.
The weird thing is, like, when we talk about 2017, like, I remember Get Out and The Shape of Water. I still can't decide which one I preferred more, and I adored both of those movies. And as much as I loved The Favorite, and it was obviously my number one choice, unless you've already forgotten 2 minutes ago, it doesn't hold a candle to those movies. There's nothing that really just absolutely blew me out of the water, unless I guess maybe Won't You Be My Neighbor, but it's hard to say because that's a documentary. Like, does
Yeah.
it play by a different
Yeah.
set of rules?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think as I get older, like I just like documentary more and more as well.
And
I
what a
just-
year for documentary. We didn't mention this. We should have mentioned this last week, but RGB, the Whitney Houston documentary,
Yeah.
Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yeah.
Three Identical Strangers. Michael Moore came out with one of his Michael Mooreisms. It's
Yeah.
just, it was
Three Identical Strangers was very good.
a hell of a year for documentary, and I think it might be one of the first times that there might be all 5 films nominated that people will have actually seen.
I know.
All 5.
Wow.
So amazing year for documentary.
Good stuff.
Yeah, really
Good
cool.
stuff. Well, that wraps up 2018.
In a nice little
And a nicely
bow.
to bow.
Farewell 2018. We shall miss thee.
And we're not doing a full episode on the Oscars this go around, but we will be doing kind of like a mini opening to one of our
Yeah,
episodes.
and I
after the
always have a
Oscars
lot
come
of
out.
thoughts. So check the website.
Yep.
We'll put some posts up for you guys just to check it out, and of course, let us know what you think. We always want to know what you guys think.
Definitely. Lane, where can they find it on the Twitter machine?
You can Twitter me at LA_Cruft.
John?
You can tweet me all night long at the Unreal J Bulls.
All night.
And you can find me at Brian Cartos from the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes and catch a new episode available every Sunday.
Predators versus Venom versus Rampage. Let's do it, Hollywood.
Oh, God.
Epicast.